We will start with Charmaine, Becenti Chapter. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. NDOT here, good morning. Not really sure what to present, but I guess it's kind of basically sharing our concerns this morning. Do I just jump right in it? Okay. So, my name is Charmaine Hosteen. I'm the Becenti Chapter Coordinators. I'm from Becenti. I have with me this morning my AMS, Michelle Collins. So they sent us here this morning. Just a couple of updates from us. As you know, coming 371 and Navajo route, I guess it's Indian route, 7120. We are working on, I guess, the egress and degress turn lane. Right now, we are working with NDOT. 2 weeks ago, we did a presentation prior to federal funding for that. I guess we're asking for 2.5 million for the turn lane for safety. Right now, we are lacking 5%, so we are gonna go with the state for that. And I believe the deadline's in of May 31st. They want that as soon as possible, so we're working on that. We did pass some resolutions to go forward to help us with this project, getting the 5%. So that's one of the updates. As far as road grading, I know road gradings were supposed to be graded, I guess, quarterly, but I don't see that happening. That multiple times I had put in work orders on your website to NDOT, but I never got a response back, or I never got a call. I really don't know who to really reach out to. I did try the operator. Tell you the truth, the operator wasn't very nice. Just give you that. But those are basically just my concerns and my issues to be put out there. As far as our 15-mile radius for grading, I haven't really heard any updates from NDOT prior to if that's still ongoing or is it changed. So that's my question to you guys. So thank you. Only did 11 seconds. I'm just kidding.
What about your grant?
Hey, you made it past the 8 seconds, so you're good. Well, first, let me apologize for us not being able to respond to your requests. One of the things that we've been having to deal with is a really high vacancy factor. We have positions that aren't filled. When I got here on January 2nd was my first day. First thing I did was I looked through the personnel, I looked through finance. It took us about 2 months to figure out where we were financially and with personnel. So one of the things that I did was the only permanent managers was Mr. Peterman and Leanne. So since then, we've filled all seven manager positions. So now all the managers are there. Now I'm working with the managers to hire for all the vacancies in each of their departments. I'm one of those people that believes that I should hire the managers and the managers should hire their own staff. I'm not a micromanager that says, "Di hire, di li, aja bandal nishtaya." So that's why I'm a big believer in you're the manager, you make decisions for that department. So that will contribute to that. The other part is we saved road maintenance for last because I kind of knew that was going to be the difficult one to correct. So what we're doing on that is we're now trying to set up 11 yards across the Navajo Nation. The difficulty of it is the road maintenance is mainly centralized in Window Rock and Delcon, Pinon, which is way far from you guys out here. So we're trying to set up something in Nayizi, White Horse Lake, and Mariano Lake. I put Mariano Lake in there because the snow. We need to respond a little bit better to the snow over there. And so hopefully we get White Horse up and running. That's closer to where I think you're at, so that we can get those ones. These guys have already started working on a yard there. So after this is done, I would be taking a field trip out there to take a look at those ones. White Horse Lake was started back when I was here the first time. I'm really surprised at some of the things that we were working on when I was here the first time. It's still in development now that I'm here 13 years later. So there's some work for us to do on our side. But we are taking a look back at the total number of miles per chapter. To me, we need to take a look at, we have agreements that the BIA has with counties. We also have agreements with counties, but we don't factor those in. And when the original plan was done for 15 miles per chapter, it doesn't work for me, because your chapter might have 70 miles, but this chapter here might have 600 miles. So it's not equal when you say you're going to get 15 and you're going to get 15. So we're going to be taking a look at that probably within the next two quarters to update that one, factoring in where these agreements are. There's coverage on that side because those are paid for. The other thing that we're finding is DOT actually pays for a lot of the lights. Since January, I don't know how many RDPs I've signed. So we're paying for all of the lights at all these intersection things, and that's coming out of the maintenance budget. The other part of it was we were commingling project management with road maintenance. There should be two separate units. So we're pulling money out of road maintenance that should be, the cost for the project management should be self-contained, not taking money from this side to the other. So we've got some work to do on that one. So once we get that, we're gonna come up with a new system where we're gonna say this is the total number per chapter based on a percentage of the total miles within that chapter, factoring in those agreements that are with the other side. So you'll get a new number for each of the chapter based on the number of routes that you have across all the Navajo Nation. The other one that we're gonna work on is when we get that new number, we want you to prioritize which roads you want done first, second, third, fourth, so that we get that in there. We're also going to be working on a better distribution system to say these are where the operators are going to be this week. Big things I've learned with all the meetings that we've been having is this, we have to figure out how to do the cleaning of the cattle guards. A lot of them, it's different from every place we've been. I never knew that dirt was such a big issue in Western. I didn't, because the wind, I guess, blows and it creates these sand dunes. And so all of those cattle guards, and then what they have is they have the cattle guard, they just walk across. And then you have the fences that were made, and the sand gets so high that the animals just walk over the fence. So we have to factor that in. How are we going to maintain all of those ones in there? The other part that we've been hearing a lot of is the BIA routes. How are they maintaining those? So we really have to have a conversation with BIA. We're really quick to criticize BIA maintenance, but we don't realize how they run. Like, yeah, I didn't. I thought I knew, but they don't. Remember how they operate with continuing resolutions? That's how they work. So it's very difficult for them to go and do all of these things when all they're doing is trying to meet payroll. So we have to be a little bit more understanding on how they do it. But we did meet with the BIA, and we're trying to work on communicating better with them, coordinating. I'm also learning that the snow isn't necessarily always on the paved roads. So that was something that I learned out of all of this process. So all of that we're learning, and we have to factor that in when we update it. But I will let you know that we're going to be updating our plan, our approach to how we work with the road maintenance. And then on your project, on the egress, and do you have anything on that, Leanne? Okay. Get together with Leanne, and she can help you with that. Did you want to add anything, Mr. Peterman?
Yeah, our operator out here is Ted Becenti, and he does your routes. You have 5 routes. He does his quarterly blading. He's kind of older feller. He's not really personable, let's say, so he likes being on his blade and doing his job. But he's been doing your routes. 7120 is your turnoff, right? Up 371. Is that 7120 you're talking about? Yeah, okay. All right.
So thank you. The other part that we need to work on is we really need to, the planning section needs to work with all of the chapters to explain how the funding process goes. A lot of people don't realize, but we have about 53, 58 million a year in that range, but that 53 and 58 is divided up into new projects and preservation of existing roads that are there. Most of these roads were only designed for 20 to 30 years. They're way past that time. And so those ones, we have to stretch that 53 to 58 between what the request here is to add new paving, but we also have to invest part of it to preserve the roads that are there. So that's where I believe these are on your tables. I'll go on ahead and have Leanne explain how this one works, because they just read it in 12 and in 36. Those are probably 2 of the highest ADT routes on the Navajo Nation. And the in 12 is probably 60 to 70 million. In 36 is probably about 40 million. So that's how much it costs us to rehab those routes. So I'll go ahead and give Leanne a little bit of time, and that's what we're trying. We need to teach chapters on what these average daily traffic counts are and the type of money that goes with it. We had in Western, there was a community that was like, we want to pave the 16 miles of road. There's 15 families that live out there. We're like, that 16 miles of road is about $64 million. Are we going to invest $64 million for 15 families that live out there? Or are we going to put $60 million to rehab a road that has about 2,000 to 3,000 travelers a day? So those are the things that we need to educate the chapters on.
Okay, so again, my name is Leanne Roy. Tisakadni Shlon Nakarana Bashashin, Doshche, the Bethlehem, Doshanella Hashiha. So with the ADTs that we handed out, the strategy there is, if we look at the sheet that was given to you, on the far left, it shows the ADT, average daily traffic. So average meaning they take 7 days of traffic our technicians out there in the field. So every road we try to get to out at Eastern, all roads that are in the inventory. We can look at BIA roads, we can look at tribal roads. So there's a counter, the counter that we use to calculate the ADTs. So when you see the black hoses going across your roads out there, please let your community know not to cut those hoses, not to damage the hoses, not to shoot up the little counter boxes. Those counter boxes are, when we first became a department before division, those counter boxes were 10,000 each. Now they're up to 50, 60,000 each. But those little counter boxes is what helps the community to determine which roads become priority. Because the idea behind prioritization is just the same as the state, the county, the US DOT, they follow what we call data-driven. Data that's out there on the roads. Data meaning vehicles. How many vehicles go down one route? So our technician will set up that hose, counter hose, ADT counter, on a Tuesday, and he'll sit out there all the way through the weekend, and then he'll go back on a Tuesday and pick it up. And he prays that it's still out there. He prays that it's not cut or anything, because that's where this comes in. So within those 7 days, each day is counted per how many vehicles. So maybe on Monday, there'll be 50 vehicles. Maybe on Wednesday, there'll be 30 vehicles. So each day has a count of vehicles, 12 hours. It even shows you how many vehicles went down that route 3 o'clock in the morning. So it takes the average of all those days, you add them all up, and you divide it by 7. That number is where we get the ADT column. So let's say 7120. Let's say that is over 1,000. Then we could qualify that 1,000 vehicles per week. We can qualify it for rehab or asphalt. Now, if there's a road out there that only gets 50 vehicles within that 7 days, it would only qualify for blading. Because the idea is, we just heard how much Navajo DOT gets, 54 million. And that's cut all the way down. I think he said 30 million. So divide 4 million into 34. That's less than 12 miles that we are allowed to maintain with the 34 million that we have. 12 miles. When with Navajo Nation, we have 14,000 miles. So with this sheet, that's where this comes into play. Because we want to push the amount of money, the little amount that we get, we want to push it to a road that benefits the community, meaning high volume traffic. We don't want to push 20, 30 million to a road that only 2 people use. 2 vehicles. We want to push the money to a route that has over thousands and over 100 vehicles. So each one, you can get blading, you can get stabilization. That stabilization is when you put that gravel down, you have that, what was the name of it again? Magnesium chloride. And that's what hardens the dirt roads. So that one would qualify from 100 vehicles to 249. Graveling a road. If there's a road out there that you want gravel, call us. We'll do an ADT. If it's between 250 and 499, then it qualifies for gravel. If you want chip seal, and your ADTs come back at 500 to 999 vehicles within that 7 days, then it comes in as a double chip seal. Now, if you got a route out there that's over 1,000 miles, like N9, N11, 371, those are all big, high volume. That's why those are paved. So that's the idea behind ADTs. It's data-driven. So that's a tidbit on our traffic counts. So please don't cut the hoses. That's what helps your community. And then also we are hiring for a planner. So if anybody would like to come out and work with the communities on ADTs, on outreaches, on coming out to the community for road issues, for improvements, for culverts that we need to know about, or cattle guards that we need to know about to clean out. That's what planners are there for. They come out, they help you, they assist you. They assist you on finding grants. They assist you on road safety audits. They assist you on completing your packets for these grants that the chapters can be applying for. So right now, the planner is $21 an hour. So if you guys know of a planner, please push them our way and turn in an application. We need a planner. It's been quite a while since we haven't had a planner for Eastern. So thank you.